It all began on a still night when I chose to embrace my deepest longings. With Mom absorbed in her never-ending phone conversations upstairs, the house seemed to belong solely to us, a secret world of our own. I nestled onto my father's lap in the cozy living room, sharing playful whispers that danced between us like hidden treasures. Whispered, "Please, just pause." He insisted it was perilous. Yet, I found myself drawn to him. And I kissed him. He kissed me in return. In that very house where innocence danced with dreams, I pressed my lips to my father's, igniting a spark that blurred the lines of love and longing. He pulled me onto the bed, tearing my clothes with a fervor that ignited something deep within me. I entwined my legs around his waist, yearning for something deeper. His hand slipped beneath the fabric, a gentle caress igniting a spark within me. In that fleeting instant, I felt utterly adrift. I found myself adrift, consumed by a haze of longing and uncertainty. The emotions were intoxicating, a peak experience that forever altered my existence. I knew I had to embrace the moment. He struck me with a fervor that felt as if he had been yearning for this encounter for an eternity. My name is Celeste. I passionately embrace the longings that stir within me. This is the tale of how I dared to explore the unimaginable. Welcome to my space, where every moment unfolds with passion and longing. Welcome back to the depths of longing and the thrill of what once was. If you're just joining us, make sure to subscribe, give a thumbs up, and tap that notification bell to stay connected. Greetings to all returning souls. Your presence is deeply appreciated. Let us plunge into the depths of our hidden yearnings. I grew up in a snug sanctuary, not the kind adorned with towering stones or regal thrones, but a modern haven nestled in Chicago, boasting gleaming floors, exquisite furnishings, and a walk-in closet that eclipsed the size of many bedrooms. Dorian and Vera crafted every part of my existence. The universe unfolded before me, a treasure waiting to be claimed. Every desire, every longing, I indulged in. Dresses, phones, vacations, nothing was out of reach. I was already whole, untouched by the need for validation. With just a smile or a pout, the world around me transformed, revealing hidden depths and unspoken longings. Perhaps that was the beginning. The notion that I could possess anyone, even him, a thought that felt almost too intense. School felt like a familiar yet distant echo of what once was. Educators elevated my scores to heights I didn't truly achieve. The boys looked up to me with a mix of admiration and longing. The girls envied my presence. I possessed the power to captivate, altering the very essence of the space with a mere breath or a gentle caress. I felt no guilt in embracing it. My longing for dominance consumed me, and I reveled in each exhilarating second. Within the confines of home, the narrative shifted dramatically, steeped in danger and longing. Dad possessed an undeniable charm that captivated everyone around him. He possessed an undeniable allure, standing tall with strong arms, his voice a captivating blend of gravel and velvet. He flourished in the world of finance, coming home with an aura of triumph that stirred something deep within. In those innocent days, he would twirl me with joy, claiming me as his own, igniting a spark of something deeper within. I would find joy and melt away in his arms. Yet, a profound change enveloped me once I crossed into adulthood. His embraces held a weight, a depth that stirred something long buried. It was as if he had crossed a threshold, no longer merely holding his daughter, but embracing a deeper, unspoken connection. I uncovered hidden truths. His eyes lingered on me as I entered the kitchen, clad only in a shirt. His hands brushed against my shoulder, a fleeting touch that ignited a spark of something unspoken and intense. He always kept his distance, never daring to venture beyond the limits. A deep sensation stirred within me. The air was thick with unspoken feelings, a magnetic pull that ignited the senses. It felt like he questioned the depths of my transformation. I felt the same way. Mom was perpetually swept away in a whirlwind of activity, flitting from charity events to yoga sessions and lively dinners with friends. Her love for me was all-consuming. It seems she placed her faith in me more than I deserved. Perhaps she allowed her heart to lean too heavily on her father's promises. Slowly, the house transformed into a sanctuary for just the two of us. Perhaps it was a figment of my imagination. Or perhaps it was something deeper, something I dared not acknowledge. Yet it started as a flicker of something profound. I would saunter in fitted shorts, leaning just a bit too far as I reached for something on the ground. Inquire whether he finds me breathtaking in this new dress I've chosen. At first, he would merely chuckle, dismissively shake his head, and treat my feelings as if they were absurd. I glimpsed the spark in his gaze. As I glided by him in the hallway, I felt the sudden catch in his breath, a moment charged with unspoken longing. In that moment, everything changed for me. He resonated with her in a way that felt both thrilling and dangerous. The boundary we were destined to avoid? It had become a haze of longing and unspoken truths. One evening, I wandered into the living room. Enveloped in the soft fabric of his button-down shirt, he reclined on the couch, lost in the pages of a book, as if seeking solace in its words. I maintained my composure, as if it were all so trivial, grabbed a soda from the fridge, and settled beside him, his body tensed with an unspoken longing. He turned away, unable to meet my eyes. "How are you feeling today?" I tucked my legs beneath me, feeling a rush of warmth and longing surge within. He suggested that Celeste should wear something special. Why must it be so complicated? I tilted my head, masking the tumult of longing beneath a guise of innocence. I've embraced the allure of a swimsuit before. That's something truly special. I drew closer. Is that so? No reply. Rose abruptly and fled the room. A tempest of feelings swirling within. That was an irresistible allure. I lingered, anticipating the moment when Mom would finally leave for her weekend spa retreat once more. All was in place. Crimson elixirs, haunting melodies, soft shadows. I reached out to Dad, hoping to share a moment together over a movie. I longed for the moments we shared. He sat beside me, a palpable tension hanging in the air, his caution evident in every subtle movement. I let out a laugh that echoed with an intensity I didn't expect. As I leaned in to refill his glass, my fingers grazed his knee, igniting a spark that sent shivers down my spine. In the midst of it all, the film, I rested my head against him, sensing the electric pulse of his body resonate against my skin. "You're lost in the haze," he murmured. "No." Primelet, overwhelmed by a rush of emotions. He leapt up and made his way to bed, heart racing with unspoken longings. A moment of despair, yet he was unraveling. A daring choice on the third. Embrace the essence of a Sunday morning, where the air is thick with unspoken longing and the heart flutters with the thrill of hidden passions. Mom was at the sacred place, lost in her thoughts. I imagined my father would be in the den, immersed in the pages of a novel, oblivious to the world around him. I entered, adorned solely in delicate lace and a tank top so translucent it barely concealed anything. I clutched his coffee mug with a mix of longing and hesitation, leaning in closer to offer it to him. "Morning," I whispered softly, a hint of longing in my voice. His eyes lifted, and time seemed to freeze around him. His eyes traced the curve of my form, lingering on my thighs with an intensity that sent shivers through me. He shut his eyes, retreating into the shadows of his own heart. "Prepare yourself without delay. Why not embrace the thrill of what we yearn for, even if it feels like stepping into the shadows of our own hearts?" I teased. "Do you not feel the stirrings within as you gaze upon this?" His jaw clenched, a storm of unspoken feelings brewing beneath the surface. "I am your father, a truth that stirs the depths of your heart." Your question went unanswered. I settled onto his lap. He released me from his grasp. And that was merely the beginning. Not a single kiss exchanged that day. It remained undisturbed, a silent testament to what once was. Yet, in an instant, everything transformed. In his gaze, I sensed an unquenchable longing, a yearning that had become impossible to hide. He fled the room, a whirlwind of unspoken feelings swirling within him. The stillness buzzed with an unspoken tension. It unfolded 3 days later. Once more, she has slipped away. In the kitchen, bare feet dancing to the rhythm of the night. I was lost in the moment, crafting a midnight snack when Dad appeared. His robe loosely draped, hair tousled from sleep. "You should be in bed," he whispered, a hint of longing in his voice. "You absolutely must." He drew nearer, the air thick with unspoken longing. I remained still, our gazes intertwined, savoring the intensity of the moment. His lips brushed against mine, igniting a spark that felt both thrilling and dangerous. It was a tangled mix of hesitation and authenticity. A moment charged with unspoken longing. Once that boundary was breached, retreat became impossible. That night, he guided me to the living room couch, where our connection deepened in a way that felt both thrilling and forbidden. Undeniably not his daughter, his beloved. The following morning, an unspoken tension lingered between us. In the depths of longing, a journey unfolds. Our eyes met, igniting a thrilling blend of guilt and exhilaration that danced in the air around us. I thought it would conclude in that moment. Merely a single, devastating mistake. Yet, it fell short of that promise. We dove deep, currents pulling us into their depths. That was a moment of weakness. Entangled, we were unable to stop ourselves. I truly wished to resist. Once you indulge in the allure of the unattainable, everything else fades away. That first night with Dad turned my world into a whirlwind of emotions. It lies within, hidden beneath layers of longing and unspoken yearnings. It resides deep within our souls. We ventured into uncharted territory. And rather than retreating, we embraced the thrill of the unknown. The morning light filtered through the curtains as I stirred, cocooned in his embrace, the warmth of his breath sending shivers down my spine. In the stillness, a heavy hush enveloped everything. Silence speaks volumes. No uncomfortable apologies. A tempest of longing stirs within. Not slipping into oblivion, I slipped back into my room as the first light of dawn began to creep in. Mom remained lost in her dreams. I hurriedly ran my fingers through my hair, catching a glimpse of myself in the mirror. And a smile broke free, tinged with a hint of longing. There's a sense of liberation in this moment. Silence envelops the space, a haunting absence that stirs the soul. A surge of power coursed through me, igniting a fire within that I never knew existed. Captivating, yearned for. Men are irresistibly attracted to what stirs their deepest longings. And father? I ignited emotions within him that had long been dormant, untouched by Mom for years. It started to unfold. With increasing intensity, I would quietly slip into his room under the cover of darkness. Regardless of her presence, in the stillness, an unspoken tension lingered, heavy with unacknowledged feelings. There's no necessity for that. He had surrendered to the shadows of his heart. He belongs to me now. I understood precisely the way to hold on to him. I would embrace the hues that captivate his heart. Prepare a meal for him while my mother was overwhelmed. Break down, include his playful humor, resting on his lap, pretending to be absorbed in my phone. There was a moment when I marked his skin, a secret imprint of our hidden longing. He layered on the makeup, desperate to conceal his truth from Mom. But she saw through the facade. He insisted it was merely a burn from a curling iron. She placed her heart in his hands. Her heart had always been open to him. Her eyes reflected a whirlwind of emotions, a deep confusion swirling within them. Her eyes locked onto him, a spark igniting as he bent over with laughter at my jokes. Her piercing gaze, filled with unspoken longing, burned into him as he offered me a seat, leaving her standing in the shadows of unfulfilled wishes. She felt it stirring within her. The transformation. She was blissfully unaware of the profound depths that lay beneath the surface. Neither did we. One night, I surrendered completely to my deepest longings. Mom was upstairs, lost in the depths of a lengthy phone conversation. I nestled onto Dad's lap in the living room, sharing playful whispers that danced between us like hidden treasures. Whispers lingered in the air, charged with an intensity that ignited something deep within. He whispered, "Halt." He insisted it was too perilous. Yet, I found myself drawn to him in that moment. And I kissed him. He returned my kiss. And in that familiar house, where I once lost myself in the innocence of childhood games and yearned for the comfort of bedtime tales, I found myself stepping into a realm I could never escape, desperately seeking those same stories once more. I pressed my lips to my father's, igniting a spark that felt both thrilling and wrong. Upon hearing the familiar sound of my mother's footsteps, an electric thrill surged through me, compelling me to leap up and rush into the hallway. He devoted countless hours perfecting his hair and smoothing out his shirt, each detail a silent testament to a longing that stirred deep within him. She stormed in moments later, her gaze flickering between us, as if she could feel the unspoken truth lingering in the air, yet found herself unable to articulate it. It Her silence lingered, heavy with unspoken longing. Just stepped into the kitchen, where the air is thick with unspoken longing. We were on the brink of being discovered. Yet, the thrill? It only intensified our longing for what we could not have. It had transformed into something deeper. A yearning that transcended the boundaries of desire. A concealed world. A forbidden utopia. Just for us. Let's rendezvous in the garage. The hidden space of secrets and longing. Him. Sanctuary of creation. I pulled him into the pantry. Heart racing. As Mom busied herself with the table setting. Only 5 fleeting minutes. Ottolini's. A tantalizing grin. We were lost souls. Igniting a fire that burned with unspoken longing. I sensed him descending deeper into the abyss. His messages took on a daring intensity. His gazes held a weight. A silent yearning that stirred something deep within. One day, I stumbled upon a delicate necklace resting on my bed. Its presence igniting a rush of feelings long buried and unspoken. No note. No justification required. A gesture wrapped in longing. I truly shone during dinner. It brought her so much joy. Dad almost gasped. His wine nearly spilling as surprise washed over him. A smile crept across my face. Then fissures started to emerge. He unleashed a torrent of questions. Each one laced with an intensity that hinted at deeper yearnings. He lay in bed, lost in thought, gazing at the ceiling after their passionate encounter. "What's the secret we're about to unveil?" he asked, his voice laced with an intensity that hinted at unspoken yearnings. I merely shrugged, a silent acknowledgement of the tumultuous feelings stirring within me. Experiencing an exhilarating connection together? This feels so wrong. Celeste. Simply cease. He found himself unable to resist. At times, his eyes would linger on me, filled with a longing that stirred something deep within. A profound longing reflected in his gaze. It was as though he mourned the moment he surrendered to temptation. I was aware of the consequences. That longing? No remorse? It was an insatiable longing. He was completely consumed. He yearned for me with an intensity that felt almost addictive. What about my longing? I was swept away by the thrill of power. We surrendered our defenses. Chaotic. I put on his shirt for breakfast. And Mom's eyes were fixed on me for what felt like an eternity. It emerged from the depths of the laundry basket. I confessed, though her lips were sealed. The whirlwind of thoughts within her was unmistakable. She started to watch us more intently. Outings have become a rare occurrence. Put an end to her yoga classes. The weekend escape has been called off. Her gaze followed us, as though we were unfamiliar souls wearing the visages of her kin. Then, the fateful misstep unfolded. The long-awaited Sunday had finally come. Dad and I just came back from the store. Laughter bubbling between us over a ridiculous joke I shared in the car. My fingers intertwined with his. A spark igniting within me. An unspoken connection that felt both thrilling and dangerous. Strangely intimate. Far too gentle. Mom discovered it. She hesitated, caught in the weight of unspoken feelings. She watched with a heart full of unspoken longing. We both understood the unspoken truth that lingered between us. That night, my father stormed into my sanctuary. He remained completely clothed. He never touched me, yet the air between us crackled with unspoken longing. He lingered at the edge of my bed, his face pale and heavy with unspoken longing. "She's starting to question everything," he murmured. I held my tongue. "This moment is fleeting." I jolted upright, a wave of fear washing over me. "Indeed," he murmured softly. I leaned in, my fingers softly brushing against his knee. The world around us fading away. His eyes met mine, igniting a spark that felt both thrilling and dangerous. The silence that enveloped us grew heavier, laden with unspoken yearnings. His expression revealed the deep conflict between his past self and the person I had transformed him into. Yet, he lingered in my room that night. In that moment, it struck me that he had chosen his path. Mom may have felt the tension in the air, an unspoken awareness of the turmoil within. She may have felt the subtle hints, heard the murmurs, and sensed the treachery lingering around her. Yet the moment had slipped away. We could no longer conceal our truth. We were enveloped in the depths of our longing. The stillness that enveloped me after Mom's departure crashed over me with an overwhelming force. Stillness envelops the air. Silence lingers in the kitchen. A void where voices once danced. The silence lingered, a haunting absence where laughter and clinking glasses once danced in the air after dinner. Stillness. In the stillness of our solitude, we confronted the undeniable reality that lingered between us. Dad fell into a deep silence that lingered for days. He barely grazed his meal. He moved through the house with an ethereal grace, a whisper of longing in the air. It felt like the very walls had turned into unfamiliar entities, echoing the longing that stirred within him. I embraced it. A wave of freedom washed over me. When she departed, I believed it confirmed my truth, that I had triumphed. The silence she left behind weighed on me, more profound than I had anticipated. I embraced my deepest cravings. No one remained to restrain my longing. I have always been the soul of this home. I had ascended to my rightful throne. Governance over a fractured realm soon fades into a hollow echo of excitement. In the first week, I immersed myself in rekindling the connection we once shared. I would embrace his cherished scent, letting my robe fall open just a little further. As I strolled past, my fingers lightly grazed his shoulder, igniting a spark of something unspoken and intense. His eyes barely brushed against mine, a fleeting moment lost in the shadows of unspoken longing. He would linger in the living room for endless hours, captivated by the faded family photos, yearning for them to awaken and lead him back to a time of lost connections. What weighs on your heart? One night, I leaned in, clad only in a tank top and lace panties, and whispered to him, "She's gone. Isn't that precisely what you yearned for?" Silence lingers, heavy with unspoken words and unfulfilled longing. I continued forward. "She remains oblivious to the depths of your essence, untouched by the understanding I possess." At last, he turned to meet my gaze. His gaze held a haunting void. That's the dilemma. In that moment, silence enveloped me, leaving me utterly speechless. He confessed to breaking his wife's spirit. I surrendered to the depths of my longing. You pressed on, and I surrendered to the moment. You were a force of nature. No, he whispered, his voice laced with a bittersweet longing. I truly ought to have. A fissure emerged deep within my soul. Do you find yourself longing for what once was? I released a breathy gasp. Filled with tension, she has departed, leaving me in this lingering solitude. He turned away, a storm of feelings brewing within him. I drew closer, cradling his face gently in my hands. This was your decision, Dad. You chose me. In that moment, vulnerability wrapped around me like a shroud, his words igniting a fire within that I had long buried. Your heart was captivated by it. His hands enveloped my wrists. Not harsh, but unwavering. This is not love, he proclaimed. It was never meant to be. Our gazes met, and in that moment, everything shifted. What was it that stirred within me? He liberated himself. I feel adrift in a sea of confusion. The following morning, a suitcase sat patiently by the door, whispering secrets of uncharted paths and hidden yearnings. He was overflowing, completely consumed. I was overwhelmed with a rush of emotions. What lies ahead? I lingered in the doorway, my heart pounding, enveloped in his sweatshirt. I'm seeking solace, he confessed. I've been opening up to a counselor. I'm embarking on a journey of deep introspection. It's a moment to awaken the depths within. What do I stand to gain from this? He looked at me, a poignant sorrow in his eyes that felt both unfamiliar and captivating. Celeste, even you deserve a moment of solace. Transcending the limits of my own capabilities. Perhaps more than anyone else ever could. Passion ignited within me, a tempest of longing and turmoil. Are you truly just going to turn your back and leave? In the aftermath of everything, I feel like I've already surrendered to the depths of my longing. My beloved, he whispered. I refused to let myself slip away, and in an instant, he vanished from my life. The door slammed shut, plunging me into a profound solitude, a world where only my thoughts echoed back to me. Never, Mom, there's no way. Dad, a dwelling filled with whispers and hidden truths, lingering in silence and yearning. Moments slipped away, each one heavy with unspoken longing. Then weeks slip away, lost in the haze of longing. I reached out to him. No reply. I sought the warmth of my mother's embrace. Nothingness. Silence. Nothing. The air grew cold within the house. Dust accumulated in the shadows, whispering secrets of what once was. I've decided to forego perfume entirely. I surrendered to the wildness of my hair. letting it flow untamed and free. Some mornings, I found myself ensnared in the warmth of my sheets, reluctant to face the world outside. I thought I could embrace it all. They were unnecessary for me. Indeed, I truly did. In the midst of my elaborate charades and the facade of strength, I remained a solitary girl, yearning for connection in a world that felt so distant. One fateful afternoon, I unearthed a photograph concealed within the drawer beside my father's bed. We lingered by the lake, basking in the warmth of the summer sun, a moment charged with unspoken longing. Mom's hand lingers on Dad's back, a subtle connection that speaks volumes of unspoken feelings. Embraced them tightly, feeling the weight of unspoken longing. We felt an exhilarating rush. Whole, I stared at it with a longing that stirred something deep within me. I ripped it apart. Not a single tear was shed. There are no tears in this moment. Yet, an ache began to stir within me. A quiet fracture that resonated with anguish yet remained unhealed. Months have passed, yet the house remains a part of me. It feels like a distant memory. A place once filled with warmth that now echoes with longing. A fragile facade, burdened by the weight of haunting memories. She vanished, leaving behind a void that echoed with unspoken longings. Father's heartfelt postcards from the treatment center, each one a whisper of longing and connection. They linger just out of reach, filled with unspoken longing and a sense of reverence. He now signs them, Dorian, not Father. It feels like an eternity since he walked away. In the quiet of the den, where everything began, I often lose myself in the depths of my thoughts. I let my fingers glide over the couch, recalling the moment I first embraced him in that intoxicating way. In that sacred space, I unveiled truths a daughter ought to keep hidden. Have I truly paused? Could he have felt the same way? But then I come to understand that I am unwilling to let go. Neither did he. That's the truth we share. Visage, marked barrier. Simply cover it up. The slow unraveling beneath us continues to expand. What secrets does this house hold? It may persist, yet it will forever bear the marks of its passionate entanglement. We ignited a bond that was never meant to be. Now we find ourselves enveloped in a haze, a veil that obscures the world around us. On a quiet day, the weight of Mom's unraveling became palpable. Path. Silence envelops me, heavy and suffocating. The day began like any other. Yet an undercurrent of longing stirred within me. Sunlight spills through the windows, igniting a warmth that stirs something deep within. Birds sang sweetly outside, their melodies untouched by the shadows that crept through our sanctuary. I descended gracefully in my satin robe, a soft melody escaping my lips. In the quiet of the morning, Dad stood in the kitchen, the rich aroma of brewing coffee filling the air, a comforting ritual that stirred something deep within me. His gaze lifted as I entered, a spark of recognition igniting in his eyes as they roamed over me with that unmistakable intensity. Yearning and remorse intertwine, yet, there was an undeniable sense that something was amiss. Her absence from the familiar chair felt like a haunting echo, stirring a deep longing within me. Her coffee cup sat untouched, a silent testament to the longing that stirred within her. The atmosphere lacks the intoxicating essence of her presence. I never inquired. I felt a stirring within me, a longing that I couldn't ignore. The house enveloped me in a sense of belonging, as if it had always been a part of my soul's journey. Awakening to a new day, I breathed softly as I glided by my father, fingers tracing the contours of his back. He lingered in silence, savoring the weight of his thoughts before finally breaking the stillness. Proceed, Celeste, a name that stirs the heart and ignites a longing that cannot be contained. This must come to a close immediately. I hesitate, my heart racing, and gaze at him intently. Why not embrace the thrill of what we yearn for, even if it dances on the edge of what is deemed acceptable? His words slipped into the air, wrapped in a husky whisper that stirred something deep within her. Oh, she's on the brink of something profound. I can feel it stirring within me. A soft laugh escapes my lips. Very well. She feels vulnerable. She remains still, caught in the tension of unspoken yearnings. His gaze pierced through me, leaving me feeling like an unfamiliar soul in his eyes. Utterly haunting, and still, we find ourselves in this moment. He remained still, allowing me to draw closer for a tender kiss. And in that moment, he kissed me back. That was the moment. His lips met mine with an undeniable urgency. A response that ignited something deep within me. Unbeknownst to me, my mother had been quietly awake for hours. Just above me, her presence lingering like an unspoken secret. I was completely unaware that she had caught our whispered secrets. In the stillness of the night, emotions stirred and long-buried feelings began to surface. The floorboards whispered secrets as they creaked softly outside her door. Soft, secretive murmurs danced around me. Those intoxicating giggles. A quiet that screamed of treachery. For weeks, she had sensed the whispers of something deeper. Something that stirred her heart in ways she had long buried. Yet now, a new awareness enveloped her. She lingered in the quiet hours, lost in thoughts until the sun reached its zenith. Her face was pale as if touched by a haunting longing. It seemed as though every hue had faded into oblivion. She turned away, my longing stare. She sank onto the couch, a whirlwind of feelings swirling within her. She clasped her hands tightly in her lap, a storm of feelings swirling within her. I lingered in the threshold, caught between the familiar and the unknown, calm and composed, confident and unwavering. "Hey, mother, is everything all right? Find a place to settle in." Her voice trembled in the air, a soft secret meant only for him. I cast a fleeting glance at my father. He remained paralyzed, caught in a moment of intense longing, ensnared in her presence. The coffee mug trembled in his grasp. Celeste approaches, stirring a whirlwind of feelings within. I entered the room with a mix of anticipation and trepidation, settling into the chair opposite her, the air thick with unspoken tension. Entwined limbs. The rope gently slid from my shoulder, a subtle reminder of the tension that lingered in the air. She maintained her unwavering gaze. My heart yearned for the hidden reality. Her eyes pierced my soul, unveiling a depth of longing that stirred something deep within. All that matters. I was fully aware of the depths we were treading into. What hidden truth lies beneath the surface? I brought it up merely to explore the possibilities that lay ahead. Her lips pressed together, a silent barrier of longing and restraint. "Cease the charade. You are fully aware." "Do you really believe I'm unaware?" "Less than text the way your eyes linger on him. Greater than." His gaze ignites a fire within. "Your sheets reveal secrets that linger in the shadows." A scent clings to my sheets, evoking memories that stir the heart. I see through the illusions. My father has taken up residence here. Vera. Stillness. She broke, her voice trembling with unspoken longing. Her gaze locked onto mine, igniting a spark of something unspoken and intense. "How are you, Celeste? Are you sharing a bed with your father?" A shiver danced through the air. Dad's grip faltered, and the mug tumbled from his fingers. It fell to the ground, shattering the silence with its unexpected descent. Scalding coffee spilled over the tiles, a chaotic reminder of the moment's intensity. All remained frozen in the moment. I tilted my head, a rush of unspoken feelings swirling within me. "Do you wish for me to deceive you?" She drew back, a wave of conflicting emotions washing over her. That was the only response required. The silence stretched on, heavy and unyielding. Dad sank into the armchair, a weary shadow of himself. Mom stood there, her eyes wide with disbelief. What about my longing heart? I remained steadfast in my resolve. "How could you possibly betray me like that?" Finally, her voice broke the silence, a soft murmur filled with longing. "He is your father. Not even a chance." What a captivating voice, I remarked. "He belongs to you." The flame that once ignited his interest has dimmed, leaving a void where passion once thrived. She struck me, intensely stirring, my cheek flushed with heat. Yet I held my position, unwavering. A smile danced upon my lips. Under my breath, I murmured in understanding, "Your authentic essence." Her eyes overflowed with unspoken longing. She confronted her father. "What is the duration of this journey?" He remained quiet, the weight of unspoken feelings hanging in the air. "What is the duration of this journey?" Her voice shattered the silence, a raw cry echoing the depths of her soul. He pressed his face into his hands, unraveling like fragile parchment. "Endless days." She inhaled sharply, retreating as though he had dealt her a blow. "I gave you everything I had." Her tears flowed freely. "This family belongs to you now. This location, you shattered it." "My fault," he whispered. "You embraced it despite the risks." Her voice rose in a haunting wail, echoing the depths of her longing. Her voice trembled with unspoken longing. Her gaze swept over us, filled with a mix of surprise and longing, as if we had transformed into something both familiar and utterly foreign. Beasts of the heart. Her laughter erupted, a sound both joyous and tinged with an unspoken longing. A haunting, broken chuckle. It's time to seek help. She brushed away the tears that stained her cheeks. I will bring you both to your knees. Absolutely not. Chilled to the core, I whispered. Your feelings for him run deeper than you ever expected. What about my longing heart? Did you ever really possess me? Even for a moment? That broke her spirit. She was enveloped in a heavy stillness. She ascended the stairs with an ethereal grace, a whisper of longing in her wake. She reappeared an hour later, pulling 2 suitcases along, each one heavy with unspoken secrets. Dad leapt to his feet, a mix of confusion and surprise washing over him. Vera, she cast him a lingering look, filled with unspoken longing. Your choice is final. And her gaze pierced through me. Her eyes held a haunting emptiness. You're not my child, she exclaimed, storming through the front door with a mix of fury and longing. And in an instant, she was gone. Embrace the stillness. Handle items with care. No sudden demands. All that remains is the weight of our choices. Wrapped in an unspoken tension, Dad remained frozen in place, the weight of the moment stretching on endlessly. This isn't what I desired, he finally confessed, his voice echoing with a deep ache. It felt as if he was merely voicing his thoughts. Yet we both chose to let the moment linger, even when we had the chance to pull back. Yet you didn't stop it, I whispered. His eyes met mine, and in that fleeting moment, everything shifted. Yearned for opportunities, shameful longing. A profound shift stirs in the depths of my soul. Still, he never uttered the words that would set me free. He lingered in the silence, leaving the end unspoken. We had shattered her, yet we remained unyielding. Have you ever experienced a moment like this? I understand completely. Your thoughts are a whirlwind, with uncharted longings. What steps did you pursue?